And now we're going to have some tech talk. Talk about tech, talk about things that you don't understand, talk about things that I really don't understand most of the time. And our guest is going to take us through this maze of technology and AI and facial recognition and stuff like that. And these guys are constantly looking at you wherever you go. I came through the airport yesterday, and I mean, I was just feeling transparent. Everything was just like all over me in the number of places and the sensors that were around me. We live in an IoT world, so everything is being captured, and we live in a big data world. And but in that big data world, we need values and ethics, as we've been talking about today, but we also need some kind of structure in which this data can be used for us. Now, we've got our guest today. His name is Sergey Bezruchenok. Got it? Got it?
Yeah.
Got it.
Nailed it, yeah.
Got it, nailed it in one. I had to even have a piece of paper to do that, but I don't use paper for my interviews.
Right.
But Sergey, welcome.
Thank you for inviting me.
You're on a one-way flight from Russia?
Well, not really. Well, I do travel often.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm mostly based here in Dubai.
Okay.
We have our team, like the core of the team is based in Belarus.
Okay.
Yeah, but
beautiful country, lovely weather. It gets a bit cold, can come in the winter here, but why are you here?
Well, it's been a long story. So that was like, I came here, that was 8 years. I mean, time flies, really. So yeah, I've been offered the position here. I was like, okay, what do you know about Dubai? And then, okay, I watched a couple of interviews of Sheikh Mohammed on TV, and to me it sounded like, it's an interesting place to be.
Right.
And then, yeah, so I moved here. And then 3-4 years down the road, I started thinking of having my own business. So this is what we did. We established our own software development company, and we saw that there's a huge potential in here. And as we are passionate about technology, and so we saw that there's potential here. And but currently everybody talks about AI, right? But then, this again, the word has been overused. Yes. But then we saw, okay, like us, being able to deliver, and us, seeing an opportunity, how can you make the use out of the technology? We thought, okay, yeah, that's the perfect place to be, because we got our customers here, and then we got DTEC, and we got so many opportunities where we can talk directly to potential customers. So yeah, that's the best place to be.
Whenever I talk about tech,
right.
I'm a futurist, as you might know, and I do a lot of keynotes out there. And actually, my talk is not about tech. My talk, when I talk about tech,
right.
is not about tech.
Okay.
It's about values, it's about trust, it's about ethics, it's about empathy. So the kind of crap that we put inside your AI and the algorithm that we control inside your AI has to be values driven. Otherwise, it's a load of nonsense, right?
Absolutely.
So how do what kind of filters, ethical filters do you have? What kind of social filters do you put in there to be able to run your system?
That's an interesting question. That's an interesting perspective. But I would say this always should be some sort of like common sense.
Common sense is good. Yeah.
What you make out of the technology,
yeah.
And does it really make your life different? And in which way? Yeah, most of us watch the Black Mirror, right?
Yeah.
And you can see that this is actually happening, right? So you can see like that system of like ratings being developed in China, and
yeah.
This is something which I would personally not engage into, but I would possibly do things which would really make your life easier. So talking about yourself, so you were on a flight like a few days back, or you just came, right?
Yeah.
So how about transforming your experience in the airport? How about you can have a more personalized approach? How about your life can be different? And so this is what I would personally engage into, and then I would first of all I would look into the values that you would have as a business,
yes.
And what you get as a customer. So is it something that makes your life more beautiful or easier or whatever it is, right? Or is it making it miserable? So
So Vermillion synergy, what does it do? 30-second answer so that we can get that, and then we'll develop from there.
Right. So I've been running this business for 4 years. So we're mostly into software development, but now we specialize in computer vision and AI, facial recognition, products recognition, and it's all about how we make it, how we integrate into our customer system. So we go a little bit beyond that. So we do analytics, and we do, we help. Again, it comes under the title of digital transformation.
So, what stage of funding are you at now? Have you gone through your seed round? Are you into?
Well, yeah, that's. I should give a little bit on that, because it's not a typical startup that we are running. Because again, we are a sustainable business, and then but. It all started with the request from our customer, and because they wanted something which nobody else has for the moment. They wanted that facial recognition, but they wanted to go a little beyond that. They wanted us to tell whether that person, which nationality they have, which age they have. There's something which is a little bit not easy to develop. But then they say, okay, fine. If we can do this, so why don't we box it, and why don't we package it as a product so we can deliver it elsewhere? So currently, yeah, I've been funding it myself. So
rich man, another one. 4 years funding it yourself, brilliant.
Yeah, we just started it so it's
right.
pretty new. So that special technology is pretty new. Yeah. So we are still going through some POCs, and yeah, there's been actually a lot going on since the moment I received the invitation. It's been only like 2 weeks, yeah, and there's a lot been going on. So we extended the scope, and we can see that we can deliver that. So I think in a few weeks we're going to have it packaged, so we can see whether we can go through the rounds, and yeah.
So who are your key customers? If you can give me, perhaps not the names if you don't need to, but the type of customers. Are we looking at an airline? Are we looking at the government? Are we looking at?
Currently, that's retail and hospitality.
I see. So is the hospitality engaging with this properly? I mean, in the sense that, I do a lot of work in hospitality,
right.
And then they say, we can have any kind of facial recognition and blah, blah, but our local structures are, we've got to have a passport, and we've got to have this, and we've got to have that.
That's the spot on comment, because really, I mean, from my experience, you can go through the moments where you feel happy because you change something, yeah, you do something amazing, and then you can go through moments where you feel total frustration.
Yeah.
We had examples a couple of years back. We delivered that loyalty platform, which is based on images recognition and face recognition.
Yeah.
But then the point was that the organization itself was not ready for that.
Yeah.
Because if you talk about digital transformation, it's not only about having the technology. So it's not like you click the button and it starts working for you. It's never going to happen. You need to have some in-house expertise, and then you need to have people, and then finding the right people and the talent can be challenging. So it's how you integrate into the organization. And then again, so if it's a huge organization, you have your processes, and then you need to can be pretty much disruptive. And it takes guts, to actually make it work for you. So this is why so many people failed, when we talk about AI and stuff like that.
I mean, I went through an airport yesterday, and it's $1 billion plus airport, beautiful airport, a regional airport. And then they took my passport, and then they went through the whole process, and then they've had this big red stamp.
Right.
And did that. And then he took it off, and then he took out his pen, and I knew he was a left-hander, and he just kept on writing, and then writing my number and my date and coming in and out and whatever. He repeated everything they had on the screen, everything he had on a piece of paper, everything he could scan or whatever, in my passport. I mean, and I sort of thought to myself, in our modern world, we spend multi-billion-dollar airport, and we don't change a process for a stamp.
Precisely.
So what do? How do you solve this problem? Because amazing if you can solve that problem. You'll be doing really well.
That's the thing. So from the technology perspective, that can be done just in a few months.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes.
But then it's about who do you talk to? Because if you just engage into some discussion with the customer, and then you see whether these guys are decision makers, whether they have the vision, whether they have the expertise to make it work for you.
Yeah.
Because quite often we see it's just not the case. I mean, we're just wasting our time trying to do something where it's never going to happen, just because the organization, it's been there for many years, and there's no way they can change their processes.
Yes.
So you need to look into those things.
So, I mean, to me, the simplest answer is blockchain. That all the documents can be in a blockchain structure, and it's properly distributed. Everything is approved and signed off. My passport, my visa, etc., and it can happen, within 6 months.
Yeah, but then you can have various stakeholders who are also using that system, and then you used to some, they have different budgets, right? And then they have different. I mean, the process can get so complicated, not from the technology perspective, right? I mean, we've been through that, yeah. So we have,
What's your business model? I mean, how are you doing most consulting and just software development? You go and I'm the government, you come, or I'm I don't know, the head of a core group, and you will come to me and say, I have this facial recognition which you will not be able to use, but you're going to give me $1 million to produce something that you'll not be able to use. Is that your sell?
Actually, we are coming to that. I mean, most of the meetings and the time that I spend talking to my customers, we are doing precisely that. So we try to put some thinking into that so that we can help them to actually understand how that can work for them, how that can be integrated, like in a sort of in an easy manner. And we talk to people like pretty much, this is what we do, but we haven't been charging them for that yet. So possibly we need to change the business model. We need to to start making money on that.
Is there any way that you can do your business in terms of crowdsourcing? Because one of my professors who does a joint project at Harvard MIT, Professor Lakhani, he's one of the leading minds in crowdsourcing. Is in the last 12 months, the capability of crowdsourcing has become so good that you can be based anywhere, Belarus or here, and then be able to access and reach out. Are you using those kinds of modern techniques in terms of delivering stuff to you?
That's an interesting one. Okay, that can be done for sure, right? But then what is, for example, I mean, here in Zubai, right? Because I get people who still need to talk to you. They need to have your face here. You need to sit with them and you need to talk to them.
So what he's saying is wrong then, because he keeps, I gave him this pushback, and he said, no, what has happened in the last couple of years, the processes, the way you engage, the kind of technologies that you have to talk to each other, that is diminishing. In other words, you can be based in Vietnam or Taiwan and still be working for you here, and you are 90% okay. The last 10% is touch.
Well, to give you a personal, example. So I gets hot in summer here, right? So I try to stay elsewhere. So I do skydiving. So I was like, okay, how about I spend a few weeks doing skydiving elsewhere?
Yes.
And I'll try to manage stuff like by WhatsApp or emails. Never worked. Because they still want you to be here, to have your face, like, it's changing, right? But I would give it another few years before it can come to the point where we can literally do it like via Skype or like a video.
So is Vermillion, using your metaphor, a skydive? I mean, you just jumped out, and then you still haven't opened your parachute yet, or have you?
Well, let me tell you something about that. Yesterday I met a friend, and so the guy does skydiving, but he also does base jumping. So if you know what base jumping is, right? So you have 3 seconds before you actually hit the rock, right? So it's either you open it or you die, right? And we were talking about business, and he's like, listen, that base jumping thing, it changed my life completely, because there'll be times you'll be hesitating whether to invest into that or whether to take this decision or that decision. And he's like, listen, I have like 500 base jumps. So 500 times I put my life at stake. So I would either open, I would die, right?
Yeah.
So money, like business, I mean, does it really like take you that long to take these decisions? It's like a split second, right? It's like just 1 second, you open or you die, right?
Yeah.
So why would I, just spend so much time like hesitating? So skydiving is not that extreme, right? But it teaches you stuff, right? So you can make like quick decisions, and it really changes the perspective.
It's a wonderful story, but how do you then apply it in your life? I mean, are you base jumping or skydiving?
Well, skydiving,
You're skydiving still, You're not base jumping, you're not going off the edge.
No. Because there's still so many things that you can learn in skydiving before you're gonna get bored with that. So no, I'm still gonna stick to skydiving.
Now, so in that skydiving process, as I said, have you opened the parachute yet? Have you started floating a little bit, or are you still?
Yeah, we have, but it's more like you opened, you know what you're doing. It's just that some adjustments should be there. I mean, it's in the modern world. I mean, you start with something, and then like after a few weeks, we realize you need to tweak the product a little. So we're ready for that. So it's fine.
How do you see the next 2 to 3 years in terms of your business developing?
Well, I would say we would move from totally from that software development to products. So because we're going to have like products, and we're going to be like doing services, possibly consulting. So possibly talking more about digital transformation, because there's a huge lack of expertise, within organizations here talking about AI. It's like, I mean, it's the trend, right? But again, it's overused, and very few people understand how they can benefit from that. So I think really what we can add is some expertise to our customers.
Companies like you, if you are half good, you get swallowed in a second by a bigger corporation.
Correct.
Is that what's about to happen to you in the next 2 years? Assuming you're half good.
No, not
Maybe
yet.
you're brilliant, but in which case you should have already been sold.
Well, from my experience, no, it's never going to happen because you have big guys like SAP, Oracle, and all these budgets and everything, but still there are some gaps, because and the modern world changes so fast, right? So like you cannot, well, imagine like a process of deploying that big thing like Oracle or something takes you years, right? Before you can like think of all the processes, just do the implementation. So it can change like that. But us, we have the freedom. We can deliver within like months. And we can fill the gaps. So there's always going to be some space for us.
Okay, so maybe facial recognition as a service, FAS or FRAS, something like that?
Well, yeah, but you can still make it different, yeah? So, there are some guys doing like this as a service, but then again, so it's how you integrate with other systems and how you package it. That's the million-dollar question. Yeah. There's so many people who do facial recognition, but how do you make use out of that? So that's the million-dollar question.
In terms of your absolute, this is the final question, in terms of your absolute need and desire right now,
right.
If there was one thing that you would want, what would that be? One.
But should that be in the
context of your business?
Okay.
Is it just pure money? Is it a big contract? Is it great assets? What is it that you want that to start fulfilling your business objectives?
Well, okay, I'll try to make it brief, but the concept is we've been working with lots of like big organizations, right? And within those organizations, you have people like visionaries, right? And you have people who have like, they have the vision and they have the courage to take decisions and to change the world that we live in, right? Yeah. But I wish them to have more freedom when it comes to decision making. So that they are not, being bound or like, within that frame.
That's a good wish. That's a crazy wish, and that's exactly what wishes are about. It's to make it as crazy as possible. Sergey, real pleasure. Thank you for sharing your stories with us. Skydiving, and I'm just waiting for you to go to base jumping, and please come back to us again at that point in time.
That's the thing, actually. Yeah, there's so many customers. We had that meeting, but you guys, you do skydiving, right? We're gonna see you again. So guys, no, I'm not going into base jumping anytime soon. So yeah, stay calm. Yeah, I'm there with you. So yeah.
That'll be super. Congratulations. Best of luck.
Thanks for having me.
Enjoy. All the best.